Unit 3 test review. Let's go over the first half of the test and the questions. Subsidies in general, i.e. free stuff, not on the test. Don't worry about it. The guns and butter lesson, where the government either decides to stimulate the economy by spending on war or spend on domestic programs, not on the quiz. What is on the quiz? Immigration. What do you need to know about immigration specifically? Tom Homan is the border czar. He's the guy in charge of deportation and fixing immigration. The Department of Education and the bureaucracy of the federal government. You need to know that the 10th Amendment of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights says that states have specific powers. Those powers are anything not mentioned in the Constitution. The one specifically we talked about were schools. Schools are not in the Constitution. Thus, the 10th Amendment reserves those powers for the states. Each state runs their own thing. Also, in terms of bureaucracy and cutting government spending in all the different departments, we talked about FEMA. FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Administration. They respond to natural disasters like hurricanes, floods, tornadoes. They respond and do the cleanup. They give out money to help out people in need. We also talked about democracy, representative democracy, monarchy, oligarchy, these different forms of government. So democracy, it's not some abstract belief. It is not some ideal concept, some sacred thing. It's best to think of democracy as simply our ruling system, the way that our government rules over people, the way that we implement policy and make decisions. It's a machine. Democracy, democracy, the people rule, or the people have power. Demos means people in Greek. Majority rule versus minority rule. There's no minority rule. The majority wins, or the mob wins. And unfortunately, sometimes that means the minority is oppressed. The minority does not rule. The minority could possibly suffer because of the majority, because of the mob. A representative democracy, we elect people to represent us. Those representatives are in two branches mainly, the legislative branch and the executive branch. There is also a judicial branch that represents us in court. We do not vote directly for them. More specifically, we're talking about legislative or Congress and the executive branch. But those are your three branches: legislative, executive, judicial. The legislative branch, Congress, made up of the House of Representatives and Senate. They write the laws, they make the laws, they pretty much come up with the ideas. And then the executive branch carries out those laws, those ideas, takes those words on the page and then brings them to life every day and turns them into policies and programs that benefit American citizens. Also, in the legislative branch, the House of Representatives is made up of 435 members. More people in your state, you get more members representing you. In the Senate, each state receives 2 representatives that make laws. 2 times 50 is 100. Media. We discussed social media versus legacy media. Legacy media is the old media that you don't watch anymore. TV, newspaper, radio. Social media is winning. Social media has won. Legacy media has fallen and died. People turn to social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, for their news and other information. Social media and even the old legacy media, although legacy is not that great anymore, helps us separate fact from fiction. They help us understand what is true and what is not. If you hear something, how do you know if it's true or not? Where do you go to get the facts? Do you go to your mom? Well, you could go to legacy media, who is supposed to explore and research, or even social media. The people on social media often research what is happening and find out, is this true or not? And they help us understand so that we can make decisions and we can run our country. Legacy media, TV, newspaper is dying or dead. It is declining for various reasons. Is it fake? Is it because of more of the rise of social media? There are many factors in play, but needless to say, TV news ratings are down, TV news is dying, newspapers are dead, radio is almost gone, it's in decline. Legacy media, the old traditional media, social media is on the rise. Interest groups. These are the groups of people who work together to influence legislators that then promote policy based on a specific interest or a specific issue. So a group of people gather together based on a specific interest to make sure that interest is protected by the government. Unfortunately, there's you, and then the step above that are interest groups, and then at the top of the food chain are even more powerful interest groups made up of the elite. And 45% of the time, based on the quantitative data from Cambridge University study, 45% of the time the elites get what they want. 18% of the time, if it's something that they don't want, it goes through. So 45% of the time, if the policy favors the elite, the Kardashians, come on, Mr. Dietrich. If it favors the elite, then it goes through. If the rich don't want it, then it gets denied. Very unfortunate. Corporations are people. KFC's not people. KFC's chicken. Well, KFC is a big business, and it's owned by thousands and thousands of investors. Those thousands and thousands of investors are people, and those people have the freedom of speech. And freedom of speech can be exercised in many ways. One way is actually to talk. But another way to express your beliefs and opinions is to fund political campaigns. So if people can express their beliefs by funding campaigns, and if a corporation is nothing more than people, then Colonel Sanders is allowed to give wads and wads of cash to political parties so that he can keep on deep frying his chicken in whatever type of grease that he wants, and he will not be forced to switch away from industrial seed oils. He also will not have to reveal the secret recipe and the 17 ingredients in the fried chicken. No one ever talks about KFC in here. They always talk about Cane's. They always talk about Chick-fil-A. Talk about B-dubs. Where's the love for KFC? Come on, people. It's the Colonel. Original recipe. Good luck. That's part one. I'll get you part two coming soon.